Hello, and welcome to Nosy Bystanders Live. I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. We're an hour late today. I had stuff to do. I got a nasty, I guess I got a nasty fluid in my ear, so it's been bothering me. So we had to start an hour late. So leave me alone, okay? Um, Hopefully I can just get rid of it. I'm gonna take some Benadryl later. My doctor said it was allergies. It could be. It didn't look like an infection, but it was definitely allergies. So we're a little late today, but we got a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the news today. I it just I don't know if this is confirmed yet, but they're saying that Juan Dixon was fired from Chopin State University. So I'm curious about that. I'm going to let that story develop a little bit more because I'm not entirely sure if he was let go, but it's being reported, and I'm going to show you the image scene here that we got from Twitter, from one of those, one of them weird sports heads. This is from Jeffrey Goodman from Goodman Hoops. And he's reported, says Chopin State has parted ways with head coach Juan Dixon. He told that to the Stadium. Former Maryland Terps star spent the last 6 seasons leading the Chopin program, or Chopin, however you pronounce that. So yeah, apparently Juan Dixon is out. Juan Dixon is out. Somebody go check on Robin. I wish I had some paper. I wish I had some papers to I wish I had some papers to shuffle. Somebody go check on Robin. Child, this my license registration stuff. Somebody go check on Robin. See how she doing. Okay. Okay, because we all know she just wanted to be with him because he had a very notable career as the head coach for Chopin State. So somebody go check on Robin. Okay. So that's that. It's probably more going to develop over the evening. So we'll get to that later if it does develop more. But I don't see people, sacrificing their notoriety as a sports commentator to make up some garbage. So I'm going to have to go with Jeff Goodman on this. Seems like he's out. But before we get to the rest of our stories, let's see who's all in the building. I know it's a lot of you in the building. What's up, Brenda? What's up, Outspoken Introvert? What's up, Venus Ruled? Hello, Amber. Hello, Shug. What's up, Leah? Hello, Kim and Go says, hey, y'all. What's up, Quanda? I know y'all was here early. Y'all know better than that. We black. Now, come on. Why y'all show up at 4:59? Come on now. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Topher. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Rashida. Hello, Courtney. Courtney says, hey, y'all, is the show going to be an hour late today? It is. Quit asking questions, okay? I'm just kidding. Hello, Sassy. Hello, April. What's up, E. Ortiz? Hello, Ezrika. E. Ortiz says, did the time change? It did today because I had a doctor's appointment that ran late. This is from Brenna. Hello, Shay. Anybody here from Facebook? Facebook, why y'all be so late? This is from Tovana. Hello, Tovania from Facebook. Hello, Amber. Hello, Beavers. Valerie, how you doing today? Hello, Mrs. J. What's up? Big Tea Time. Hello, Missy. Hello, Nisha. Hello, our Virgil says, hey, Nosy fam, grab your snacks and hit that like button away, and please don't be ignorant. Hello, Greer J says, good evening, Chief and family. What's up, Mimi? What's up, Anastasia? Hello, Timberland. Hello, Amber. What's up, The Journey? Hello, Jeanette. What's up, Brown Mama? Is it Asalia? I hope I'm saying that right. What's up, Aaliyah? How you doing today? Hello, Jerica and Lucky Lady and Rodmika. And what's up, Dr. J? So if I missed you, I apologize. We're already late. A nigga was late today. Okay, so let's get to these other stories, okay? So, let me pull up my graphics because I be forgetting what stories. I do, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I pull these graphics up because I need to figure out what stories are which, and I always forget. So, I want to talk about there's an update in the case. Apparently, the Associated Press has been reaching out to the family of those 4 individuals who were ambushed at the border. And they just wanted to know, like, did anyone else know about this trip? Apparently, most of the family didn't know, and parts of the family who did know warned them not to go, as well as individuals who ended up on the trip who passed away, Brown being one of them, said he had a bad feeling. He didn't even really want to go, but he didn't want to leave his friends hanging. So I want to get into that article really quick. It's brief, but it is interesting. So let me share my screen with you guys. It's from Yahoo News. Shout out to Yahoo and the Associated Press. It says before the 4 Black Americans became victims of a murder, kidnap, and Mara Matamoros, I apologize. It says that there was uneasiness surrounding that trip. There was a lot. Apparently, there was a lot of uneasiness surrounding this trip to Mexico from everyone. So it wasn't just Latavia's mother. It was a whole bunch of family telling them really don't go. So this is from Latavia Green. You know, she booked her trip for a cosmetic surgery. I'm going to skip down here. It says that Brown had a bad feeling before the trip, telling his older sister that they shouldn't even go. Brown is one of the individuals who died on that trip. According to Associated Press, he said something is just doesn't feel right. His older sister, I'll just call her Mrs. Brown, so I don't butcher her name, told the Associated Press over the phone that was the last time she had spoken to him. Hopping into protective mode for the man she so close to her that she caught her hip bone, Brown urged her brother to not take the trip that was planned earlier that month. As anyone knows, to help others. However, Brown wasn't surprised her sibling shook off the bad feelings and offered to drive with the group and his childhood friends on the road trip to Mexico, where one scheduled for cosmetic surgery and another planned to celebrate his 34th birthday. Brown's mother, Christina Hickson, said that she didn't know about the trip, but she said she would have advised her son not to go. Brown and Wilbur were the two that were killed. She goes on and she's quoted saying, "When I found out he was already en route to Mississippi, I would have never allowed them to get into that truck." The fact that most of them, it's like nobody knew about this trip. And most of the time, when individuals are planning stuff like cosmetic surgeries and things of that nature, right? Like they're usually really gung ho about it because they not only turn it into cosmetic surgery, they also turn it into a trip because you're going to be spending a considerate amount of days there. So most people turn it into a trip like, hey, it's your birthday, let's go. And they're telling on their friends and family. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff on social media. They're posting about it. But the fact that everybody just kept it so hush, hush, secret is where I have the hard part with the story. I got a hard part with the story when everybody's being all hush, hush and secretive about it because it's almost like they didn't want anyone to go because they knew that they'd be talked out of it. You understand what I mean? It's like they knew they would be talked out of it. I don't think I would ever be able to go to Mexico without my mother knowing. That'd just be crazy. Or at least my sisters. Now, if I'm going across the border to grab seafood, that's different. But I mean like an actual vacation. You understand what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about. An entirely full vacation. So I just think that's just crazy that, you understand what I mean? I just find it crazy. It's just wild. So the article continues. Hold on, let me change my screen. It says McGee's mother previously reported that she had had a bad feeling about the trip. Now, this is McGee, this is Latavia's mom, that she had had a bad feeling about the trip, but warned her daughter not to go. Williams told the Associated Press that her son has never left the country before, and the four were unaware of the dangers of traveling in that area. Now, the Associated Press did report that Latavia McGee actually went and saw that doctor for her prior elective surgery. This is the first time they were reporting that. So the woman getting the surgery, the tummy tuck, her mother had told the Associated Press that her daughter indeed had seen Dr. Chavez before. So it was the first time it was being reported because most people kept saying she did get surgery in Mexico, but no one was aware if it was the same physician. Apparently, it was the same physician, Dr. Chavez. The fifth person who speaks out for the first time since the incident, Cheryl Orange, says she was stuck in Brownville. We already know that. She also told Associated Press that they told her they'd be back in 15 minutes. When they didn't arrive, the rest is kind of like history. She told the Associated Press that the survivors are still too traumatized to speak about the incident. And the whole situation has been excruciating for the families to recover from, even more for the ones whose loved ones weren't returned home alive. This is from Woodward's father. He says, "I've been trying to make sense of for a whole week. Just restless. I couldn't sleep. I can't eat. It's just crazy to see your child taken from you in such a way, in a violent way. He didn't deserve it." And he's right. Nobody deserves to be ambushed and slaughtered like cattle, right? Nobody deserves that. But his father's right. And I feel his father. I'm confused too. Okay. I'm even more confused because we analyze it. We've been analyzing that story to the umpteenth degree, and it still makes no sense. It makes absolutely zero sense. So yeah, let me get to some of your comments. This from TC says, I've seen Taken, and I'm telling my loved ones and going to Homeland Security page for bulletins, etc. Granted, hindsight is 2020. Absolutely. This from Sergeant King says they had been there before. Yeah, apparently. Court, I never read that, and you guys know I read every single report that came out about this story. I have not heard in any report that they went to Dr. Chavez before. Now, I did hear that Latavia herself, outside of the other four individuals she traveled with, had been to Mexico for elective surgery, but it was never reported if she actually went to Dr. Chavez in the Matamoros region and Tamaulipas. But she has. So that's according to the family and the Associated Press. This from Naya says, not everyone wants people to know about plastic surgery. That's true. That's true, but it's such a popular thing. There's not a whole lot of stigmatism. There's not a whole lot of stigma around plastic surgery like it used to be like 25, 30 years ago, right? Like when you got your boobs done or you got lip fillers or Botox. That was something that was like a closely guarded secret within people. And now celebrities and people, you know, your mom, your moms and your girlfriends openly talk about plastic surgery because the stigma has been reduced and everyone deserves to feel good about themselves, even if they do get elective surgery to do so. So that's right, but granted, the stigma has just dropped so far. And Latavia was talking about getting a tummy tuck all over her Facebook page, so we know that she wasn't ashamed of it at all. We know she wasn't ashamed of it at all. It's not that she was hiding the surgery. It's like they were hiding the location of where it was going to occur. And that's the part that we find the most odd. Not Latavia. She told her friends and family that she was going to Mexico. Everyone knew she was going to Mexico. It's the three individuals who negated to tell their friends and family that they were actually going to Mexico. And then, according to Cheryl Orange, she didn't find out till they got to the border, which is not true because we saw the Facebook live stream and she very well was in that car while they were all laughing and kikiing about having fun in Mexico. So they knew. It's the question of why they negated to tell their friends, family, and loved ones. That's where the whole story gets kind of crazy. This from our Virgil says, that's wrong because she had been posting since exactly. She had been posting for quite a while. This from AO says, grown people don't have to tell anyone what they're doing. They don't, but it's a little bit different. If I was going to California for vacation, I probably would tell one of my sisters, but I'm not calling all of them, right? If I'm going to Europe, I'm probably going to tell my whole family. Does that make sense to you? So it's regionally based. If I'm just traveling to another state, I'm probably going to tell my mom or call my dad or something of that nature, right? I'm not going to tell everyone because who cares? I'm not calling my granny and telling her I'm going to Atlanta. But if I'm leaving the actual country for a significant amount of time, it's more than likely, I would tell a large swath of people just so they know that I'm out of the country, right? It's a little bit different where I live because crossing the border every day to get fruits and vegetables and seafood is a day's trip. You're right back. You're not even far. You're literally like a couple of yards from the border, so you don't have to go far to go get it. Do you understand what I mean? But if I was going to spend a week in Mexico, I probably would call someone and be like, "Hey, I'm in Mexico for a week," you know? But I'm not calling my family every day to tell them, "Oh, I bought scallops in Mexico today." Like they're like, "Okay, that's an everyday thing," you know? Yeah. So that's the update for that story. Very, very interesting. That more people are coming out saying that they had no clue what was occurring, or where their loved ones were going. It's wild. It's a bit wild to me. It is. I'm not gonna lie. I want to hear from Latavia. Eric, the one who was shot, who survived, he's fine. I want to hear from Latavia. I want to hear from the person who orchestrated this and get my brain wrapped around it. And I don't want her sitting down with Anderson Cooper. And that's no shade to Anderson Cooper. When he was a field journalist, he did excellent jobs with his investigative journalism. Now that he's behind a desk, he's kind of dry. He doesn't really ask all those questions. I need Gayle King to sit her down for the CBS Morning Show. That's what I need. I need a Gayle King, R. Kelly interview style. That's what I need. I need her to sit down with Gayle King. I need her to sit down with Diane Sawyer. I need her to sit down with Savannah Guthrie. I need her to sit down with these people. I need her to sit down with Tamron Hall. Okay, we're not cousins, but I wish we was. I need her to sit down with Tamron Hall because I need someone to be asking her these fact-finding questions. And Tamron gonna get to it. Okay, Tamron gonna get to it. So I need her to do that. I don't need her to do nothing else. I need her to sit down with Tamron Hall, with Gayle King. I need her to sit down with Diane. I need her to sit down with somebody who's gonna ask questions and not care about her feelings. Like, okay, girl, but so and so says she didn't know about the trip till she got there. Is that true? I need people to ask questions. I don't need people like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, we're sorry. We're very sorry what happened to you, but what's going on? I need somebody to ask about that 2-hour time gap. So you cross the border at 9:18 p.m., but you got ambushed at 11:45 p.m. How did you get ambushed 6 minutes away from a doctor's office? And where did those 2 hours go? It's understandable from 6 minutes away, less than a quarter mile, that you could get lost. And maybe you could finagle 15 minutes of getting lost. But 2.5 hours? Now, those 3 American women who went missing in Mexico, who were supposed to be in the Nuevo Leon region, which was about a 3-hour drive from where they needed to be, and got lost in Tamaulipas, it's understandable they got lost. It's very simple. They were very far away from where they needed to be, and it's understandable that they had got lost. But how y'all get lost in a 6-minute drive? So I need some real hard hitters asking her questions, because she the one who got all the answers. This is from Sika Calf. I don't really know how to pronounce your name. I hope I'm saying it right. It says, you would mention that you are driving across the country. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I mentioned it when I'm flying across the country, so let alone driving. You understand what I mean? So yeah, absolutely. This is from Kishana. I hope I'm saying your name right. Kishana McKenzie says, I don't care how old you are. If you're going to travel, tell someone where you're going in case you go missing. Precisely. Precisely. I agree. 100%. This is from Kimberly Brown. What's up, Kimberly? Said the mainstream media doesn't seem to question her story. There's a reason for that, right? Because they like to have all the evidence up front. So they have working producers. So Anderson Cooper and anybody else who sits down and interviews them, they have like a team of producers who do what I do, right? So I would be considered like Anderson Cooper's like internet sleuth. And every time somebody reports on it, you go digging, asking questions, and then you present the perfect story to Anderson Cooper. You can't present questions and conspiracy theories to him. Everything has to be grounded in fact. You understand what I mean? So he's not going to ask those questions because he doesn't want to like look insensitive, unless the FBI came out and reported and said, no, they were down there for drugs. Then Anderson Cooper would ask the guests that, because his producers were able to get that information. So it's not that the mainstream media doesn't dabble in like asking hard-hitting questions. They're doing their best to look unbiased, which is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to look unbiased, but it's coming off as uninterested in a story, right? Because they wait for the internet sleuths and the people across the internet to do all the digging. Case in point, that not Elizabeth Smart, what's her name? Rachel Smart or something. It was a girl who went missing from her dorms in Florida in like 1998 or something. And a podcaster just sat down and interviewed everyone around the story because the story was unsolved. A podcaster solved the story. And he sat down and interviewed everyone the police wouldn't. And everyone the news wouldn't. And then it turns out somebody on the podcast, like, correct me if I'm wrong, said, oh yeah, it was that one dude who walked her home last. I think I heard a rumor that she's buried under his parents' house. Guess what? The police heard the podcast, said, all right, let's just go check under his dad's house. Guess where her body was? Yeah. So Kristen Smart, California. Yeah. Turns out sometimes it just takes internet sleuths to get all the facts together, because the news and the media, they're always going to go the safe route. They're like, okay, let me call my connects at the CIA. Let me call my connects at the FBI. Let me call my connects at the White House. Obviously, these three people are not going to talk about open investigations. So they're going to be like, oh, refer to this department, refer to that department. So they have to just refer to what they hear. So like, well, we reached out to, the FBI. The FBI said they don't comment on investigations and they're doing their due diligence. And that's the story. But it's like there are internet sleuths who are like, yeah, but I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. Because mainstream news has to filter through thousands of stories a day, they can only splice up their resources so far. So I don't want to put too much like, oh, the mainstream media is this. It's just that they've been considered too big to fail. Now they're failing because they're not getting those deep integral stories like the New York Times does or the Washington Post, So yeah, everyone has their caveats. What did the parents know? I think the dad helped him. The father helped him, and the ex-girlfriend helped him move her body. You got to get into the podcast. Look up the story on Kristen Smart. What's up, Ray? How you doing today? She said, I'm scrolling in late. That's okay. This from Kel Freeman says, so he's an actor, not a journalist. He is a journalist, you guys. He has won a Pulitzer. He's got like a master's in journalism or something. The guy's a journalist. But when you start off as a field journalist, it's when you get like those like scrap stories that you have to turn into something. And then you just keep proving yourself and proving yourself and proving yourself and proving yourself and proving yourself. And then that's when the network recognizes you, like, okay, give him a job at the desk. And then we'll find other field journalists to do what he does. So he's just an anchor. He's a news anchor, but he worked his way up there. And in his place, they hire more field journalists. Does that make sense? So Anderson Cooper, it's not like he threw his job away, but when another anchor retires, someone has to replace them. And it's usually seniority rules. So Anderson Cooper may not be doing what he used to do 10 years ago, but CNN has impeccable field journalists who still do it, So you got to lean onto them. So when I look at journalists who I like to listen to, they're usually in print media, they're really they're not news anchor. And I have news anchors I like because of their prior work, but I don't lean to them to be like doing these hard hitting stories. It's usually the field journalists who are doing all of that. You got to be able to separate that from the news. You got to be able to separate the anchor from the journalist, even though the anchor has a degree in journalism. 10 times out of 10 they do, or has experience in journalism, has been working in journalism for the better part of like 10, 15, 20 years. But once they become an anchor, that job is really lock solid. So imagine the anchor as the professor and the field journalist as the teacher's assistant. Field journalist is usually doing the bulk of the work for the professor. Okay, so look at it that way. So that's on that. If any other portion of the story comes out, then we'll discuss it further. But I want to get to Blueface because he out here flipping out on Twitter and losing his mind. This from Minnesota Man says, I don't think they found the body. No, but they did find residue. The dog, the sniffer dog, found, decomposing something in the place where her body was under the house. And then it turns out that the father, the guy, and the girlfriend moved the body, but they found enough evidence to be like, there was a body here. Does that make sense? Okay. So I want to get to the next story because I want to get to this because yesterday we talked about Chrisean and we talked about how she is the it girl. She is the it girl when it comes to television. She really is. And a lot of people are missing that. Now, Blueface having a complete meltdown across the social media because not only did she sober up and get wise to him, she also has been able to talk to him in complete sentences and got an understanding that he may not be giving her what she needs. And he's just basically telling her she can just go and move on to somebody else. Well, today he had been tweeting that he would pay her $100,000 plus fees to get an abortion. Let me show you the tweets from Blueface. Shout out to Say Cheese, please. Posted it here and says, I'm cock blocking a pregnant, laughing my butt off. Please, let me see if I can focus it. Please do it pretty please. I'll pay for real $100K in cash and the fees. Yeah. deplorable. He goes on, and I'm going to read you the tweets here. So let me just try to focus it so you can see it. I'll take this off my screen. He said, physically fighting on the red carpet, throwing the first punch after announcing a pregnancy is clearly not mentally fit to put their pride to the side for the betterment of their child. Then he says, that was the first red flag for me. I only like blue flags. It's been a no for me. I got 2 kids and 1 baby mama. For a reason, he said, I'm sorry, for a reason, I don't just have kids with anybody. I'm a real particular about the woman I have children with, and I don't play about my kids and their well-being to nurture and care. Rock don't even take care of me like a woman should, and I'm a grown man. Imagine a newborn. Please do it. I mean, there's 1,000 things we could say about that. One, why are you having sex without protection? He's been with Chrisean for how long? 3 years, maybe 4. If she wasn't the one for you and she exhibited all these really poor behaviors, why were you with her so long? Were you bored? Or was it a business transaction in your head, but it was a relationship in her head? Regardless, you still stuck by her side through all of that. I mean, you even fist fought her in the street. I've seen plenty of videos. So now all of a sudden she's just this ill-fitting mother and you just don't have kids by anyone. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. He definitely has to be taking care of his kids because you never, ever, 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 ever hear any backlash from Blueface's baby mom. You actually don't, which is shocking. Do you understand what I mean? So you never actually hear any, you know, his baby mom doesn't come out and just acts all crazy and stuff, you know? So it's a testament that he is, right? Not like the other ones, right? Like these Ari Fletchers or whatever they call themselves, or these like India girls or these Asian dolls. These baby moms are always fighting across the internet, but you don't really hear much about Blueface baby mom. So she must like stay slow and low, kind of like Future's baby moms. They just stay low and slow. You understand what I mean? Like Jay-Z's baby mom. So they just mind their business. You understand what I mean? But she was with her. Let me get to some of y'all comments. This is from Jalen. It says, after the first time she became pregnant, he should have used protection moving forward. Yeah. Greatness says, why is he in his feelings about her? Because he loves her. He just doesn't realize it yet. You know? He just doesn't realize it yet. He doesn't. Here's the thing: when you're their age, they think they're going to live forever. They think they're going to be that young forever. They think they're going to be that that ambitious and that fit, and that they can just take on the world. And then their 30s hit. Their 30s hit, and then their 40s, and then people like Blueface, who think he's unstoppable and he's on top of the world, he's going to realize that the dating pool gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller till nobody wants you. And then he's got chronic high blood pressure and gout, and nobody wants to take care of him. And then he's going to think back, like most men in their 40s and 50s do when they're single and nobody wants them. They think back about, dang, I should have really just married that girl. I should have just did right by her. The vast majority of people who end up in assisted living facilities or senior care facilities are single men because they think in their head, oh, baby, I got the world's my oyster. The world is my oyster. I'm about to just go out and do whatever I want to do, until they realize slowly over time, nobody wants you. And the woman who was putting up with you, you should have just married her. Crazy, right? Crazy. Gal, yes, child, gal. This is from Roxanne says, how disgusting, the baby gonna see this. Yeah. Oh, she better, and she's gonna keep her baby too. This from Deandra says, isn't today her birthday? I just joined. She turned 23. I didn't know that, but happy shout out to Chrisean. Happy birthday. This is from Sherelle. Said definition of toxic. They were definitely in a relationship and they have a whole show together. I feel bad for the baby. I don't actually feel bad for the baby, and let me tell you why. If Chrisean stays on this track of sobriety and not drinking or anything else like that, which I don't think she will, she really got like the spotlight on her. So she can't just be going around just drinking alcohol, pregnant. She'll lose her baby. So I think she's going to stay on this fast track to sobriety. And because she is, which is good for her, her baby is set up for life. People will continuously throw stuff at her, like TV shows and brand deals and all of that, and she's good. So I actually don't feel bad for the baby. As long as Chrisean sets herself up with a loving core group of people who are going to help her and support her, focus on her business, focus on getting the next reality show, focus on her brand deal, she's fine. You know what I mean? And she's young too. So she's really got like, you know what I mean? She's really got like a lot going for her. Blueface, on the other hand, does not. So he does not have. Do you understand what I mean? So I don't feel bad for her or her baby. I'm actually happy for her and her baby because I feel like this is the time right now where Chrisean is really getting her act together or whatever. So, shout out to her. Shout out to her. This from Kimberly Brown says, unfortunately, she's connected to him forever and he will always be toxic. Well, you guys know that he's out on, Blueface is out on bond for attempted murder or something like that. No, he won't. She's connected to him forever, but not in the sense that you think. I mean, it's literally just freebasing it out right now on bond. So that trial won't come till next year, and more than likely she's not going to have to really deal with him. You understand what I mean? So I'm not too hard pressed that he's going to be in her life very much longer, or you understand what I mean? So I'm not too concerned about that. But shout out to Chrisean. I hope she's doing all right. She shouldn't have to deal with nothing like that. The man is a menace, and he really needs to just leave her the hell alone. Because, yeah, it's just, he's a mess. He's a mess. She's not a mess. She's actually getting her life together. Let her do her. This is from 15. The boss says, I do think he will forever be bothered, though. Oh, yeah, but that's his business. He can be bothered if he wants to. That baby gonna come out. He ain't got a choice. Okay? He needs to be focusing on his bond right now. He needs to be focused on that case. While he worried about throwing her $100,000 to not have a baby, you need to be spending that $100,000 and getting you a really good attorney and a legal team, and leave the rest of this alone. Period. Okay, because he's doing too much. But enough about that garbage. Enough about that garbage. I want to get to Ice Spice and JT. They're also trending. Ice Spice sat down and did an interview with Dazed Magazine and thanked Cardi B for remixing her song Munch. She said it was a real honor and she was proud of that. As soon as that article dropped, Nicki Minaj, and I think I have the photo. Let me see if it's still in her stories. Hold on one second. No, it wasn't. It expired, but let me see if I can find it on Twitter. Nicki Minaj had posted a... Hold on, let's see if I can find the photo cover. It was really pretty. I had a photo of it. Oh, here it is. So Nicki Minaj had posted this image of Ice Spice's Dazed cover and called her the People's Princess. And then went ahead and followed Ice Spice on Instagram. And that kind of like sent a weird shockwave into the Twitter sphere because people were questioning whether Nicki Minaj was kind of like titling Ice Spice as the Princess of Rap. She only called her the People's Princess. But people took the Barbs took it as her calling Ice Spice the Princess of Rap. People also are speculating if Nicki Minaj signed Ice Spice to her record label. So this Barb banter going on across the internet. Well, because of that, people have been speculating what happened to her deeming JT from the City Girls as the princess of our rap. So Nicki Minaj had posted this, and let me see if I got the image. Nicki Minaj had posted this image of JT last year, calling her a princess. Not a princess of rap, but a princess. So people are like, what happened? We thought JT was the princess of rap. Now, funny enough, because the story gets crazier, JT went ahead and liked this tweet after people were dubbing Ice Spice the princess of rap. She had liked this tweet on Twitter that says, JT still the princess of rap, in case y'all start getting ideas. So she went ahead and liked this tweet. Don't look at my face. It's just pause there. And then she unliked it. So people are speculating, like, is there a beef between JT and Ice Spice? And I'm curious because there shouldn't be, because JT doesn't do what Ice Spice does. Does that make any sense? Like, Ice Spice puts out singles. JT is usually a feature. So you can't be the princess of something, in my personal opinion. And this is just my personal opinion. I feel like you can't be the princess of rap if you're only a feature, right? Right? I mean, even when the City Girls put out their own tracks and their own albums, she always seemed like she was featured on there. She never seemed like she was part of the City Girls. So people are just like, how are you the princess of rap? Hello, JT, are you listening? So the fact that she would like that tweet and then unlike it, I found a little bit sketchy. And then also too, at the same time though, like, who cares if you're not dubbed the princess of rap? You don't rap. You don't put out enough records to be considered the princess of rap. You're just a rapper, and that's okay because I like JT regardless. You know what I mean? I like JT regardless. So I could care less if like she's dubbed this or that. But I want to get some of your comments. This from Jeanette says, I believe Ice Spice is signed already. I don't think they are beefing. No one said they were beefing, but it seems like some stuff was going on. This from Greatness says, JT is her sporadic rap. JT raps when she's like got nothing else to do for the evening. Does that make sense? Like if JT's not at a party, at an event, like a red carpet event, if she's not doing something else, it's like rap is like takes a back seat to JT's life, kind of like Carisha's life. Like rap takes a back seat to their regular lives. It's like, oh, it's like if JT were to go to her assistant and be like, okay, what do I have planned for the day? Well, your one flight got canceled, so we pushed it out last week, and then your esthetician or your nail tech or whatever, they went ahead and pushed their meeting out or their appointment with you out to next week. So your day is full. Your day is empty. JT seems like the type like, I feel like I'm gonna just send me some like beats and I'll work on a feature. That's what she seems like she does. Like it seems like if her schedule is full, she doesn't think about rap. But if her schedule's empty, then she's like, okay, it's like her laundry list. Like, okay, let me just do the laundry real quick. Send me those beats that producer sent you this last week. I put it off too long. I'll come up with my verse. That's what that's her style of rapping to me. It always seems like it took a back door to her life. Does that make sense? Like when I think of Megan Thee Stallion, I think of rapper. When I think of JT and Carisha, I know they're the City Girls, but I don't think of them. I think of them more in my head as socialites. Like when I think of JT and Carisha, I think of Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. Does that make sense? Is the analogy analogizing for you? They seem like just two wealthy socialites who just dabble in a bunch of stuff. Like they just dabble in stuff like, oh, maybe I'll come out with a nail polish. Maybe I'll come out with the card game. Maybe I'll come out with a podcast. Maybe I'll rap. You know what I mean? Like they're just like they're fair weather rappers, in my opinion. This from Topher says JT still hurt about going to jail. I need her to shake that off. I don't think she is. She never really talks about it. This is from April says Nikki needs to worry about those 700 horses. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. This is from Kel Freeman says, why did you compare them to them? Because they don't remind you of that. And that's a good analogy. Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton are stupid rich and really bored. So they always find ways to make themselves relevant, but they always find ways to like keep themselves busy. Does that make sense to anybody? So when I think of JT and Chrisean, the City Girls, I don't think them as rappers. I think them as two socialites. I feel like they're just socialites, you know, just like they're just two girls having fun, you know, they're just two girls having fun. But here's the thing though, Ice Spice is the next hottest thing. The fact that JT would like that tweet and then unlike it, that's the part that I found a little bit fishy, because like you're not the princess of rap. If anybody's gonna be the princess of rap, it's gonna be Megan Thee Stallion. If anybody's gonna be the princess of rap, it's going to be Megan Thee Stallion, hands down, without a doubt, completely. Okay, it's not gonna be JT from City Girls. It's not. It's not. And I still don't understand why Nicki Minaj is still the queen of rap. I feel like when you take that much time, when you take that many breaks, right? When you take that many breaks in between rap, I feel like you gotta hang it up. You gotta give that title to somebody else, you know? And everyone knows that title belongs to Cardi B. Let's be for real. It does. It actually does. She's the only other person who could go head to head with Nicki Minaj at the same level that she does. But because Cardi B's career is still young, she needs to take that title. Nicki Minaj's career, although it's still progressive, it's not as at the height of it as it was. Like there wasn't a bunch of mixtapes and features and this. Nicki Minaj picks and chooses what she does. So I don't think you should just hold on to that title forever. I think that title should be passed down. And Cardi B is the only person who could take that title. And when Cardi B's career begins to slow down, you pass it on. You understand? You just pass it on and be like, hey, I held the title for this many years, and now I'm passing the torch. And I feel like Cardi B would be the type of person to pass the title respectfully. Who, when Little Kim gave that title, when Little Kim lost that title to Nicki Minaj, like it was an easy transition to give it to her. Does that make sense? But Nicki won't seem to pass. You got to pass it on. You gotta pat like I think that's the part of the inauguration Nicki Minaj skipped when she got the title, right? Because we can go all the way back into the 90s, right? Like the title had went from like MC Light to Queen Latifah to Salt and Pepper. You understand what I mean? And then it landed on Little Kim that we all know, and then it landed on Nicki Minaj. But I think it's time for Nicki Minaj to pass it on to someone else. But I think so many people in the industry are so terrified of her. That's why women won't rap and call themselves the queen of rap. When the way that the title gets passed on to you is if you start to use that reference in your music and no one questions you on it. That's how you get the title queen of rap. So when Nicki started calling herself the queen of rap and Little Kim wasn't around to defend it, that's how you get it. But all these new rappers are terrified. They're like, I'm not going to call myself the queen of rap. Because they're afraid. But Nicki wasn't afraid. She went right after it. She's like, you know what? I'm the queen of rap. We'll call a spade. And no one challenged her on it. So she held that title. But what needs to occur, like I said yesterday, when Megan Thee Stallion puts out her new album, she needs to call herself the queen of rap. Cardi B, when she puts out her next album, she needs to call her. Someone needs to do it expeditiously. Okay, expeditiously. And the moment that you do it and it goes undefeated, then you can use it every single rap every time. And you dub yourself the queen of rap. That's how you do it. Okay. That's exactly how you do it. Okay. This from the boss says that was because of the drama with it. Yeah. This is from Nicole Knights, says it's hard to pass the title when you're still number one on most charts. What charts? I just want to know. This from Simba, says they're not scared of her. They scared of the stands. The stands are some of the worst. They're vile. I think Cardi B and Nicki Minaj have some of the worst supporters. Now, here's the thing, right? I'm talking about the stands. Let me correct that because I said supporters, not supporters. I support Cardi B. Even though Nicki Minaj blocked us, I still listen to her music. It's just hard to listen to music when you know that somebody attacked you. It's really hard, right? That's like me coming after you, Simba, like real bad, like real bad. And then you still showing up to the show. It's like hard. It's like a hard pill to swallow, but I still listen to her. Okay. But I'm not a stan. Like I don't go defending them across the internet because I think that's just like a really weird mental illness. But you're right. The stands are scary. The stands are scary. Cardi B stands are scary. Beyonce stands are not that scary because they're mostly older, middle-aged women. So they're not like crazy. They're not like Beyonce has moved into the Mary J. Blige level. So Mary J. Blige stands are safe. They just your aunties. Beyonce stands are your aunties. They're just your aunties. They're your millennial aunties. So they're not as scary. But Cardi B and Nicki Minaj stands, they're I can see why they don't scare me, but I can see why they could scare anyone. This from Topher says the Dance 1000 charts. What? This from Earth is Ghetto says, and which chart? I was curious. Just tell me which chart. Nicki give bipolar vibes. They all do. The way they attack each other on the internet, like Cardi B does the same thing. She just pops off on Twitter. It looks psychotic. I mean, it looks psychotic. It does. They look unhinged. It's one thing to be broke and unhinged. It's a whole nother level when you got money and you're unhinged. You understand what I mean? Like my platform is not even a 10th of the size of Cardi B and Nicki Minaj's platforms. And I'm not unhinged on the internet. I don't write unhinged tweets. I don't post unhinged videos, because when it comes to large social media platforms, you have to be responsible with that. You also have to protect your mental health. In my opinion, the model that I use is ignorance is bliss. The less I know about what's going on in my comment sections, the better I feel. So I'm not going like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, they're exactly the same, just so you guys know. They have a propensity to start digging through their comment sections and searching their names and like searching their hashtag. That's deadly for your mental health. You shouldn't do that. What people say about you on the internet, it's not your business. It's not your business. What Cardi B and Nicki Minaj need are social media managers, people who will manage their social media to keep their mental health stable. What you're witnessing is just two unhinged rich women going at it like a bunch of roosters. It's sick. It's deranged. Okay. It's the most deranged thing I've ever seen in my entire social media career. It is. But what can you do, right? Like you can't force them to get people to do their tweets or, this, that, and the third. They're just a bunch of unhinged crazies. This from Yenzi says they need a trust person in their corner to take their phone. No, they need a social media manager. They don't need no cousins or nothing. You need someone who goes on your social media, post your tweet, post your retweets. And if you want to go live on Instagram, go live on Instagram. But you need someone to limit your abilities to get access to your device. You don't need to be doing that at all. That's crazy unhinged. I get hate comments all the time. Could you imagine if I had the size platform that Cardi B and Nicki Minaj has? And I spent all my days and nights hanging out in the comment section of videos? Insane. That's insane. That's insane, you know? When it could be out here just really helping people and really putting people on. This from the boss says, I can't even get bingo female rap anymore. Shaking my head. I'm loving all the new R&B sisters. Yeah. It's just crazy. This from Kimberly Brown says, to have all that money and still be unhappy is truly sad. It doesn't even make any sense. They both need to be in therapy. And the fact that there's still people who are like, oh, Nicki Minaj is so mentally stable, but Cardi B, she's so unhinged. It's not even a pot calling a kettle black. It's just two pots staring at each other. And her comment section, Nicki Minaj, is unhinged, and Cardi B's comment section is unhinged. And it's just two unhinged groups of people just unhinging it across the internet. And no one talks about it. Like, they need a case study on them. For real, they do. They need a case study on them. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Do I think it's rooted in insecurities? It has to be, because who would hang out in the comment section of their tweets and videos? Are you crazy? You have to be mentally unwell. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, they require tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of adoration. And they require people to dote on them. Like, you know, you're so great. You're like the best person in the world. That's what gets their juices flowing. If you need to go to your comment section of your videos and your posts you make on social media to help you get an understanding that you're a good, decent person, then you, my friend, may have narcissistic tendencies, because having other people help you regulate your emotions is a clear sign of narcissism. It is an inability to regulate your emotions. If you don't know what that means, it means that when you're sad, you do things to make yourself feel better. You write in your journal, you watch your favorite movies, you might call a friend or two and just, talk things out. Go seek a therapist. Those are normal coping mechanisms for individuals who are trying to help regulate themselves. The bad side of that is overeating or addiction or gambling or shopping. That is people who they can regulate their emotions a little, but they still have trouble doing it. So they lean onto other vices in order to do so, but they're not leaning on people. But people who make content, rap, sing, whatever you name it, model, and then they go to their comment sections and they're just tussling and fighting with people, it's because they're going to their comment sections for something. They're not going for a fight. They're going into their comment sections because they're like, oh, well, I put on that dress and I posted a picture of myself in that dress. I wonder if people think I look good in that dress. Instead of saying, I know I look good in that dress, you're leaning on other people to tell you look good in that dress. That is an inability to regulate how you feel. You don't know how you feel. So you need other people to do it for you. And then you stumble upon people like, they make your thighs look thick. And then you start to see the fighting. Because that's not what they came there for. They came for you to tell them nice stuff. They didn't come for you to be critical of them. That is an inability to regulate your emotions. If you cannot regulate your emotions and you find yourself in your comment sections constantly fighting and tussling with people over and over again and ignoring the people saying the nice stuff, because that's what you really wanted, and you're fighting with people, you might be a narcissist. It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay? It's as clear as day. I see it all the time on social media. I see it all the time on social media. All the time. There's nothing wrong with posting a picture of yourself in the bathing suit and then going to the comment section and seeing people just, oh, you look great. Or someone just saying something nasty and vile and you just kind of ignore it. If you ignore it, you're probably not a narcissist. You're probably just like, whatever, F that dude or F that girl. But at the level that Nicki Minaj and Cardi B do it, it looks, it's giving, you need a psychotherapist. That's what it's giving to me. You need psychotherapy, because why are you over here in this comment section that don't belong to you? It doesn't. And then they build these giant stan armies of people who are just echo chambers saying everything that they want them to say without critique. And they build these giant armies around them to basically do all the supplemental things that they need, that they should be doing for themselves, telling them, oh, you look so pretty, oh, your baby's so beautiful, all this. If you don't know this stuff already, why are you having a baby? Why are you taking pictures? Why do you have a husband? Why do you need other people to tell you your marriage is great? Why do you need other people to tell you and your husband look great in that photo? You don't need that. But Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, they don't understand that they're sick. They are mentally sick. They are. And it's sad because they're very talented, but they are mentally ill, without a doubt. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are both mentally ill. And what's sad is that nobody will tell them. That's the sad part. Nobody will tell them. They're just walking around as two crazies, terrorizing people across the internet. That's wild. This from TC says, you see more and more celebrities breaking from social media for their reasons. Exactly. I say that's the same thing about Taylor Swift. When was the last time you saw Taylor Swift on social media, but as herself, not as some well-edited videos by her producers and her publicists? Rare. She's like, I don't got time to deal with that. I know it ain't nothing but a bunch of my fans and a bunch of crazies. I'm not even going to engage in that, right? This one, Kimberly Brown says, social media is not for the weak-minded. It's not. When people say that, it's true. Social media is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. If you can't post something and walk away, it's not for you. It's not for you. This from 15. The boss says, it's so many more of them who are mentally ill. It's a lot. It's a lot. Chris Brown, all of them. Anytime you see a celebrity constantly tussling on Twitter and Instagram and comment sections of videos, they're mentally unwell. It's that simple. This from Courtney J says, I hope that Megan doesn't become like Cardi and Nicki, and I hope she gets therapy and heals when she takes the time on social media. No, I think she's going to be fine because she doesn't engage in what they engage in. She doesn't. Sometimes she does, but most often she does not. But you know who I do see engage in Cardi B and Nicki Minaj behavior? Normani. A lot, actually. And it's kind of sad because she's also really talented, but she does that a lot too. Most people miss it because she's not as big as them, but I catch it all the time because I follow Normani. She's quite unhinged on social media. This from Topher says, please tell us how Nicki blocked you. She's wild for that. Like, why is she scared? Y'all, I done told this story 1,000 times. I'm gonna tell it one more time and I'm not gonna tell it again. You'll have to just timestamp it 5801, okay? Okay, let's go from the beginning. So in the summer of last year, somebody claiming to be Nicki Minaj's publicist, who I believe was actually Nicki Minaj, had came out with a bunch of scathing stories on Instagram saying that they worked for Nicki Minaj and here's all her secrets. Blase skip. I didn't believe most of it, but one story had came out, and all of the stories that were put out, it was like a slew of stories this person put out. So this person put out a story and they said that two rappers, one by the name of Cupcake and one by the name of Lady Leisure, both came out and said that Atlanta Records asked them to put out a diss track about Nicki Minaj. I thought that story was interesting. So this person claiming to be Nicki Minaj's ex-assistant, publicist, right, if you will, said that story wasn't true, that Atlantic Records never asked Nicki Minaj or never asked Lady LaJour or Cupcake to put out a diss track on Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj just really hates Atlantic Records, so that story is fake. So everyone was talking about all the other facets of the story. Like there was parts of the story people were like, the publicist, the quote unquote publicist was saying, oh, Nicki hates her husband. Oh, Nicki does this, 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 this. I didn't focus on any of that. I really zeroed in on, is the story true? Did Atlantic Records actually try to commission Lady LaJour and Cupcake to write or do a diss track on Nicki Minaj? So Cupcake talked about it briefly in a couple of interviews, but she never really talked about it again. But she's like this with Nicki Minaj. But Lady LaJour took her loud ass to so many different publications and talked about it. So I got to digging. Now, mind you, this story's about 13 years old. Not Nicki Minaj blocking us, but the claim about Atlantic Records. So I got to digging, and Lady LaJour actually sat down and did an entire op-ed with The Guardian, which was probably not a good job for her to do. So she does the op-ed with The Guardian. She sits down. She talks about how she was able to go on tour with Nicki Minaj after Nicki Minaj found out that she declined the offer from Atlantic Records. And so the interviewer said, well, how did you even get on the radar of Atlantic Records? You're from the UK. She said, well, I put out a video and it went viral and they flew me out. So I went and looked up the video. I did. Video had 1 million views over 13 years. I said, that doesn't make a viral video. That's roughly about 158 views a day. I know Atlantic Records didn't fly you out for 158 views a day. So what's the truth? Also, you never really published when you went to Atlantic Records, when they flew you out, when they said, she published nothing else. She just said, that's it. They saw a viral video of mine. Ipso facto, this is how it worked. I questioned that heavily. So I did that story. I pushed it on TikTok. You guys, till this day, I pushed it out last year. That video has 80,000 views on it. And compared to the views I get, 80,000 is nothing. Okay. So I'm on the phone with a friend. I put that video out like 3 days prior. I'm on the phone with a friend. Every phone in my house. Now, mind you, I have 3 iPhones and an office phone. Every phone in my house is just, and my computer, I have a MacBook. My MacBook starts ringing, but I'm ignoring it because normally it's just a notification and I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So I look and I got hundreds of calls from random numbers. And I said, what the hell is going on? So I get to Twitter. I don't know what told me to go to Twitter, but something told me to go to Twitter. And I couldn't figure out why, but something said, get to Twitter. I got to Twitter and my mentions are insane. And so I go on my backup Twitter because I can't see anything because my mentions are just going off. I go to my Twitter, then I go to my backup Twitter, and I see that Nicki Minaj is telling her little sycophants head to TikTok. And I think that's weird. So when I go, I see that I don't know what made me go to Nicki Minaj first, but I don't even know. A lot of the mentions were from Barb's. So I had a feeling it had something to do with Nicki Minaj. So when on my burner account, I go to her page, she said, head to TikTok. And then I get to TikTok and she's all in my comment section. She's all in my comment section. She's like all kinds of stuff. Then in my comment section, she tells everyone, go to Queen Radio. And that's when I found the episode. She did an entire episode on us. Blocked me on all social media except Instagram. Shh, don't tell her. Don't tell her because we'll never get access to it. Blocked us on all social media and just berated us for like a week straight. For a week straight. So she's unhinged. Her crowd is unhinged. She won't unblock me. Then tried to get my Twitter deactivated because I changed my profile picture to her picture. And then I wrote hashtag Barty Gang. I changed my profile because I'm a real internet troll. What her and her little sycophants don't do nothing to me. So I changed my profile picture to Nicki Minaj, and then I wrote hashtag Barty Gang, and then my Twitter was like banned for like a month. So that was a rough that was that was a rough couple weeks, but that's the whole story. That's why she blocked us. She's a sycophant. Cardi B is a sycophant, and her followers are. I listen to their music, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all. They are crazy people. They are. They're quite the crazy, unhinged folk. Okay, but yeah. But we'll be back tomorrow, you guys. Right here at the Nosy on time. I won't be late. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, here at the Nosy Bystanders Live. I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. You guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Smash the like button on your way out. Don't be ignorant. Please don't be ignorant. Smash the like button on your way out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on time. Okay? Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Okay, bye-bye.